everybody, it's Mel. Thank you so much for joining me today for a look over all of my self-destruct books for 2022 and a new lot of books that will self-destruct by the end of 2023 or the beginning of 2024 if I don't read them or unhaul them. So this is a video that lots of people have been doing for a while now. I believe the person that created this idea was Becca from the Becca and the Books, so I will link her channel in the description below. I'm assuming that you probably know who she is, but on the off chance that you haven't come across Becca before, you definitely should go and check out her channel. She's an absolutely fantastic booktuber, and yeah. Anyway, so the idea behind the self-destruct video is that you select a bunch of different books that you have to read within the next 12 months, and by the end of that 12 months, if you have not either read the book and unhauled the book, or just plain unhauled the book, then you have to unhaul it at the end of the 12 months. So that's what I'm going to do today. First of all, I'm going to go through and have a look at the books that I put on the list that I was going to do the same with for 2022 and see how I did. Did I read them? Did I not read them? Did I like them? Did I not like them? Did I keep them? Etc. And then once I have done that, I do have a pile of books just here that I'm going to talk you through that will be my self-destruct list for 2023. So around this time in 2024, I will need to do the same thing again, have a look through, see how I went, potentially unhaul some books. So I'm going to put my screen record up here so you can see what I'm talking about as I go through. But yeah, that's the plan. Let's see how I went. That is A Splendid Ruin by Megan Chance. So I don't really know a huge amount. I did not read that book. So yeah, off to a great start. Let's see if I can improve on that. Alright, next one is another book that I went to the bookstore, gave a list, etc. And that is Potter's Boy by Toni Mitten. So it says on the back here, I didn't read that one either. And I still have it. Oh dear, this is not going very well. Oh dear. Let's move on. Fingers crossed it gets a little bit better. Oh no. Go Scribbler box as well. It says, I have given up so much and done so many terrible things already for this. It's The Poison Tree. I think I skipped past where I said that one. And I haven't read that one either. And I still have it. Looks like I'm doing a big unhaul. Okay, let's continue. Next up, we have The Secrets We Kept by Lara. I haven't read that one either. Gosh, these first 4 books showing myself up. I haven't read that either and I've still got it. Oh man, I really didn't do very well at all this time. Okay. I hope there's some I've read or unhauled or done something with. Let's keep going. Next up we have a reread, and the reason why that is on the list is essentially because I read it and I gave it 5 stars, but the more I think about it, the more I wonder, did I give it 5 stars because everyone really loved it, and I felt like, well, Annie and Hillary won. So it is Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This was a reread for me. I read it, like I was just saying, I read it for the first time and gave it 5 stars, but I wasn't certain if I just got caught up in all of the hype that it was getting when I first started BookTube. So I reread it. I still really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars this time, so down a little bit, but I did still really enjoy it. But I ended up just deciding that I honestly don't think I'm going to reread it, so I did unhaul it. If I ever want to reread it, I can of course get it from the library, but yeah. I just honestly didn't think I was going to reread it a 3rd time, and it should go to someone that will actually read it and love it. So yeah, I got rid of that one. Alright, next one. Next up we have The Whisper Man by Alex North. Okay, I did read this one. I really enjoyed it. I have still kept it. I think I'd like to reread it again. I think I will keep it, but it's definitely still in my possession at the moment. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, so this is getting a bit better. Alright, next one. To go in a year if it's not read will be that motivation. So that's The Whisper Man. 2 more to go. 2 more to go. Next up we have Bridge of Clay by Marcus Zuzak. Okay, I started reading this book, I think I read about 20 pages, probably less, and I just couldn't gel with the writing style. I was buddy reading it with my friend Michelle, and she asked me to continue trying, but then she ended up finding that she wasn't really enjoying it, so she DNF'd it as well, and I hadn't even made any extra headway after I'd said I would, so I DNF'd as well. And I have unhauled it. And the final book is a book that I think quite a few of you will be a little bit surprised to see on this list. That is Normal People by
okay, yeah.
Bruni. I read Normal People. I didn't love it. I mean, it was fine. I think I gave it 3 stars. I liked it well enough, but I didn't love it. And I unhauled it. So, yeah. Alright, so that was last year. So I think I did half and half. I think I read and did either haul or kept. I think I unhauled most of the books I read. I think I just kept the one. But I do still have, and I actually have them here, I do still have those 4 books that I didn't read and I still have. So the first one is The Secrets We Kept by Lara Prescott. So this is about 1949. It's about a novel. It's about the writing of Doctors Zhivago and spies. It sounds really interesting, and I do actually think that I'd like to read it, but I obviously didn't want to read it that badly. I'm not sure. And then The Poison Tree by Erin Kelly. 1997. I mean, it sounds interesting. In the sweltering summer of 1997, straight-laced, straight-A student Karen met Bieber, a bohemian and possibly glamorous aspiring actress. She was quickly joined into Bieber's world, and for a while life was one long summer of love. But every summer must end. By the end of theirs, 2 people were dead, and now Karen's past has come back to haunt her. It does sound really, really interesting. It is really short. 250 pages long. I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? This whole experiment is supposed to make me read books or realise that maybe I don't care that much if I couldn't read them in the 12 months I had before I had to get rid of them. And yet here I am thinking, oh, I don't know. Potter's Boy by Tony Mitten. I don't really remember anything about this at all. I mean, it does sound interesting. One of the things that I was talking about in the video we were just looking at is that like when I first started BookTube, I went into a local indie bookstore with a giant list of books that I wanted to get because I wanted to diversify my reading, and a lot of them they didn't have, but the woman walked around with me and kind of grabbed things off the shelf, and they sounded interesting, and so I bought them. But I also kind of bought them a little bit because I didn't want to say no, which is terrible. And this is one of those books, and honestly, I mean, it's been sitting on my shelf for like basically 3 years, and I just am not interested in it at all, really. So it's gonna go. It's actually definitely gonna go. And then the final book was A Splendid Ruin by Megan Chance. So this is another historical fiction, and it sounds really interesting as well, and I'm intrigued to read it. I don't know what to do.
One eternity later.
Okay, I've decided this one is quite big and chunky, and it sounds really interesting, but I honestly don't know if I'll get around to it. So I'm unhauling these 2 definitely, but I'm going to give myself 6 months to read these 2. So I'll give myself to the end of June. I have to have read these books, otherwise they definitely have to be unhauled. So yell at me to read them. Alright, so let's have a look at a new list for this year. So first up we have The Skylark's Secret by Fiona Valpy. I honestly don't really remember anything about this book. A few of these books I was getting a subscription box called Scribbler, which is a writer's box, and they had lots of info about writers, but I really wasn't using what I was getting, so I ended up unsubscribing, and this is one of the books that came from there. So it's 1940, set in Scotland. It is something happened in 1940 and then decades later, so I quite like books like that. Family Secrets. So yeah, I do think I could really enjoy this one. It's the kind of book that I potentially will really enjoy. I like generational secrets family domestic thriller type ones, so potentially that would be really exciting. I'm just going to pop these there, sorry. So, there's our first, the 2 from past for the 6 months, and then our first one that I need to get read by January 2024. Okay, and then I have John Crow's Devil by Marlon James. This is a Man Booker winning author, apparently. Another historical fiction. Jamaica, 1957. On a day beginning with a bad omen, black vultures, known locally as John Crows, crash through the local church windows. A handsome and charismatic stranger drags the village preacher from his pulpit and takes over both church and congregation. Wow. Okay. It does sound quite interesting. It isn't super long either. 215 pages long. I think I could do that. Not too bad. Okay, next up is Filth by Irvin Walsh. So I think that I got this because, yeah, this is the same author that wrote Trainspotting. I love the movie of Trainspotting. I absolutely love it. But I tried to read the novel and couldn't get into it. I found the dialect, that it's written in the Scottish dialect, and I found that hard to read. So anyway, I put it down. This was a long time ago. And this one, I basically got it because it's Irvin Walsh. I think I must have seen it in a secondhand bookstore or something like that. So I was intrigued to read it, but I honestly don't know if I would end up actually reading it. So it's going on this self-destruct. So there. And then we have Take What You Can Carry by Gian Sadar. So this is another historical fiction set in 1979. This also came from that book subscription box. Secretary of Los Angeles newspaper is determined to become a photojournalist and make a difference with her work. She accompanies Kurdish boyfriend Dylan to northern Iraq for a family wedding, hoping to capture an image that lands her a job in the photo department. Sounds like it could be really interesting as well. So yeah. It's not super long either. 200 odd pages, I reckon. Yeah, 320. So hopefully I'll be able to fit that on a TBR at some point as well. And then I have The Slap by Christos Siol. I apologise. I do not know how to say this surname. But this is about, so it says, at a suburban barbecue, a man slaps a child who is not his own. This event has a shocking ricochet effect on a group of people, friends and relatives who are all directly or indirectly influenced by the slap. What unfolds is a powerful, haunting novel about love, sex and marriage, parenting and children, and the fury and intensity, all the passions and conflicting loyalties that family can arouse. So yeah, I think it could be really interesting, but potentially quite confronting. So we'll see how we go, but it's on my self-destruct list, so I might get to it. We'll see. And then I have 2 that I'm really uncertain about, but I'm putting them on this list because I read The Rivers of London by Ben Aronovich a couple of years ago. I think I saw Leanne from Literary Diversions talk about this, and I thought it sounded really cool. So I bought it and read it and really, really enjoyed it. And then I went and got Moon Over Soho, which is the second book in the series, but I have not picked this one up yet, and I think it's been on my shelf for like 2 years. So what I'm wondering is, it's not that I don't want to read the series or that I don't want to read this book, but I'm wondering, do I need to have, because I think the series is quite long, I think it's like 15 or 16 novels long at this point. Do I need to have all of those books on my shelves, or can I just borrow them from the library when I feel like it and read them? That's what I'm wondering. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that I have 12 months to reread this one and then read this one, or I have to unhaul them. It doesn't mean that I won't ever come back and read them. I may get them from the library. I know that they are in the library here in Tasmania because my parents borrowed them. I talked to my mum about this. She thought it sounded amazing, so she borrowed it and then she read all the series and she enjoyed all of it. So I definitely know that I can borrow them from the library here in Tassie. So yeah, that is the plan. I do want to read them. I'm just wondering, do I need to own them, basically? So they are both going on the self-destruct list. So I don't know how these are going to go. I don't know what's going to happen with them. I'd like to give it a shot because I would like to, I'd like to read them whether I decide to unhaul them or not. Because I'd like to read them. I don't know. I don't know what the likelihood of reading this book is, to be perfectly honest, but I'll give it a year and see how I feel. This one I think sounds really interesting and I feel like I could really enjoy this one, so I have high hopes for this one. This one, I'm not really feeling it, to be honest, but we'll see. This one, I don't know. I think it sounds really interesting and potentially I'll really enjoy it, and I do kind of want to give it a shot, but at the same time, never remember I haven't, so we'll see. This one actually sounds really, really good. I have quite high hopes for this one. I think this one could potentially be a winner. And then these two are the ones that I'm not getting rid of just yet. I'm giving myself another 6 months, but I really have to read them or I really have to unhold them. I really like the sound of both of them though, so I just have to kind of make that happen, but we'll see. So here we have my new self-destruct pile for 2023. But yeah, that is the video for today. Let me know in the comments below if you do a self-destruct list yourself, if you have made a video or an Instagram or blog post about it. Let me know that down there as well so I can go and check that out. Let me know some of the books that you have read and enjoyed recently or books that you have gotten rid of recently. Let me know all of that in the comments below. If you'd like to leave me a comment but you don't know what, then leave a broken heart emoji because I might be broken-hearted about getting rid of these books. Who knows? All of my social media details are listed in the description below, so if you'd like to go and follow me on any of those other platforms, please feel free to do so. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you next time.